wrong, then you will note it, right?
Not necessary.
Not necessary. Huh? So Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation. And Srimad Bhagavatam, as I said, there are 12 cantos, and we are reading the
Very
first
simple
canto of
question.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
The
Yes,
conversation was between Krishna and Arjun.
yes. Krishna and Arjun, they're talking in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. And after Mahabharata was written by Vedvyas Ji was contemplating that Vedvyas Ji composed Srimad Bhagavatam, but in addition, Vedvyas Ji composed quite a few literature. He composed four Vedas: Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Atharva Ved, Yajur Ved.
Yes.
Then he composed all Itihasas, like Mahabharata is the Itihas. Then he composed Puran, he composed Upanishad. After composing all this, Vedvyasji was feeling that I wrote all this literature for the welfare of all of us. All these literatures are written by Vedvyasji out of compassion, because he thought that how can I help future generations, because people will forget all this wonderful knowledge. So he, out of compassion, Vedvyasji and Ganeshji, they sat together and wrote all the literatures. But then, still after writing it, Vedvyasji was feeling that something is missing. And he was thinking that all this literature, what I have written, may not make everybody happy. That is why he was doubtful that something is remaining and which I am not able to recollect what is missing. So he was contemplating. At that time, Narad Muni came there. Here you can see Narad Muni sitting in front of Vedvyasji, and there is a river here, Saraswati River, and this is what description is there until the fifth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam.
So even he was in dilemma.
He was in dilemma that I
He
have
was
missed.
also in the dilemma like us.
Yes, he was thinking that I have missed something, but I don't know what is that missed point. So then he asked Narad Muni that you are my guru. Whenever we are in dilemma, we approach a guru, a teacher. When Arjun was in dilemma, he approached Lord Krishna as a guru, right?
Can it be a
So,
trusted friend?
pardon?
Can it be a trusted friend?
Yes, Krishna was a trusted friend of Arjuna. Krishna was a cousin. So, Vedvyasji got all the knowledge from Narad Muni. So, Narad Muni was also guru of Vedvyasji. Narad Muni is guru of so many wonderful people. He's guru of Vedvyasji, guru of Dhruva, the guru of Prahlad. So a lot of wonderful people have got knowledge from Vedvyasji. So then Narad Muni started instructing to Vedvyasji what is the reason of their guru. Yes, Narad Muni is guru. Oh, Narad Muni, sorry. Narad Muni is guru of Prahlad, Dhruv, Vedvyas, and many others. So Narad Muni started instructing to Vedvyasji. Narad Muni said, न तथा वासुदेवस्य महिमानुवर्तिता. So what did Narad Muni say? Narad Muni said that you are feeling void because you have not described glories of Vasudev. Vasudev is Krishna, hmm, Krishna himself. Because all other literature, what Vasudev ji, Vedvyas ji described, was all about material, nothing about Atma. So when you get money, when you get dharma, artha, kama, again after that you have to take birth again, right? So all the Vedas, all the literatures, they describe about how to get material benefits, but out of material benefits you get again birth. Punarapi janma, punarapi marana. All the Vedic literature is like that. But only person who can give you freedom from the repeated cycle of birth and death is Krishna himself, Vasudeva. Nobody else. Nobody else can give you moksha. Moksha means getting out of cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. all the great asuras like Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kansa, all of them had boon from various Devi Devtas, Brahmaji, Shivji, Durga, all this. They got the boons, but none of the Devi Devtas could make them Amar, immortal.
They got the moksha.
They didn't go, they didn't get the moksha. They
Ravan got
were,
it.
well, that is when Lord Ramchandraji came and destroyed him. So Ramachandraji gave him a moksha. It is not that all Devi Devtas gave them a moksha. Yes. So it is Vishnu or Krishna or Ram ji can give moksha. Nobody else can give a moksha. If you are in a jail, a jailer can give you better facility, but jailer cannot get you out of the jail. Only Prime President of India or Prime Minister can write a note that please relieve this person. He's a nice person. So get him out of the jail. So this earth is called as Durga. Uh, Durga. Durga means jail, fort. And one who protects this Durga is called as Durga. So we this is Navratri time, and we are glorifying Mother Durga. She is the one who is protecting and keeping all of us together. So Vedvyas is saying that what you have described in all Vedas, Narad Muni said that what you have described Vedvyas ji is everything which is related with material. So which will not give people a chance to come out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. So only way you can come out of this cycle is by learning from Lord Krishna or by learning from lives of devotees, bhaktas who have lived the life of spirituality. So the devotional life. So that is why Narad Muni said that na tatha vasudevasya mahima hi anuvartita. So you haven't given the right medicine. You know, when doctor gives wrong medicine, what happens? A patient becomes more sick, right? And the
He
pharmacist
loses
give
his
a wrong
college.
pharmacist give a wrong medicine. Then doctor, when doctor is right, the
It
pharmacist
goes to
is.
his college.
Uh-huh. So the license is lost. Right? Similarly, Vedvyasji was finding a medicine for people in Kali Yuga out of how to get out of the suffering, but giving another birth is putting them in more suffering. You understand or no? So that is why he was contemplating. Then with Narad Muni says, I'm going to share you my experience. You know, when you go for a treatment, then you ask somebody else, how is that doctor? Is that doctor good? Or how did he treat you? Right? So Narad Muni says, I'm going to share you my experience from the previous life, how I was, and how I got elevated to this position of being a Narad, being a greatest person, which is a big jump. He was a son of a maid servant. He describes, Narad Muni describes his past life. What he says? He says in Srimad Bhagavatam that I had an unfortunate birth, but because I heard the Srimad Bhagavatam for liberated saints, I achieved the spiritual perfection. What was the unfortunate birth of Srimad Bhagavatam? So, Narad Muni shares his own experience, what happened in his previous life. So, he describes it in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 23rd shloka. Narad Muni says, अहं पुरातित भवेत् भव मुने दास्यास्तु कश्यश्च vedavadinam. So he says, long, long time ago, many, many lives before, he said, I was son of a maid servant. Maid servant means one who works in a household, very poor, who has no facility of eating, no facility of staying, very poor person. Narad Muni in his previous life was very poor. He didn't get any education, no facility of proper shelter. Sometimes he didn't get food even to eat because his mother was working as a servant and he had no father. Father was not there. So only mother, you know. So she was looking after Narad Muni in his previous life. Narad Muni didn't go to school, no chance of going to education school because no material facilities. And mother's job was to serve another family, clean their clothes, clean their pots, clean the house, like that. A very poor facility. Namaste, welcome. How are you today? Welcome. So Narad Muni is sharing his experience, and he said he was born as a son of a maid servant. But then, the house where his mother was working, Narad Muni's mother, the house belonged to a Brahmana. Brahmana is an educated person. His house, there were four guests arrived at that time. In the picture, you can see there are four guests, four sadhus standing there, and this little boy and the mother in the background. Can you see that? Huh? So Narad Muni is sitting there, and the four guests arrive at the house of this Brahmana, where Narad Muni's mother is working there as a maid servant. So, mother, you always used to ask Narad, little boy, take this food, give it to those sadhus who are our guests, like that. So, all the time, this little boy is running from one to another room to another, serving those sadhu. And while he was serving there, the sadhus were talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, actually. And even though was poor, the little boy, Narad, was very poor, he had no education, no facilities, but still he got a chance to hear conversation of those sadhus. And what were they talking about? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th shloka, 5th chapter, 26th shloka, it says that Tatranvaha Krishna Katha Pragayataha. So what they were talking? Krishna Katha. They were talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Now you see here, hearing is very powerful, art of hearing and the power of hearing. Our ears are very powerful organs which God has given us, but we sometimes don't use it properly. And here Shrimad Bhagavatam is everything about art of hearing. That just by hearing, you can get enlightened. You don't have to use any other organ of your body. You don't have to use anything else. Just keep your ears open and understand it. So this little boy, having no schooling, no money, no education, but he was just playing around those sages, and he was very attentively listening. What are they doing actually? Because he didn't have toys, because no money, right? So can't buy the toys. Nowadays we have video games and everything for the kids, but that little boy had nothing. So he had only thing was that those sages around, and he was listening them, and he could listen Krishna Katha. And one day, while they were talking, he got a chance to hear a very confidential subject matter. Sometimes we talk, and this is very confidential thing. So this little boy, when he was playing around, he heard a very very confidential subject matter while they were talking about. And they were talking that first they talked about something very suspense, confidential, then talk about more confidential, and they said, now we're going to talk about most confidential subject matter. So Narad was really, little boy was very inquisitive that what is this most confidential thing what they're going to talk. Do you want to learn about it? what they were talking?
Confidential.
If it is confidential, you want to learn or no?
No, that
How
is
about you?
expose.
Yes? It's a secret thing. You want to learn about it? Yeah? You don't want to learn? Secret.
No, no, expose.
Expose. Yes, our online friends are also saying they want to listen. So, Bhagavad Gita, ninth chapter, is also called as most confidential knowledge. It's called Raja Vidya. What is it called? Raja Vidya. Raja means king, and Vidya means knowledge, education. So, king of all the knowledge. There are is the king of all the flowers. What is that? Rose. Uh, King of all the fruits is mango. Right? There is a king in everything. Something which is the best of best. So there is a king of all the knowledge. What is that knowledge? Which is there in Bhagavad Gita, and that is chapter number 9, which is called most confidential knowledge. And this is what they were talking about, that we are going to talk about very confidential thing. Please don't tell anybody. But now I'm going to reveal it to you. It's a very confidential subject matter. So Narad Muni was listening, and they were talking about that we all have been learning all this knowledge, but this knowledge is giving us more problems actually, right? Now, the knowledge which gives you ultimate liberation, ultimate freedom, which is the real knowledge. But knowledge, there are two types of knowledges. One knowledge is which gives you problems, and one knowledge which elevates you. It's called superior knowledge, right? So, good knowledge and bad, good or bad, or absolute good and relative good, you know. So, there is inferior and there is superior in all subject matters, you know. So, similarly, in the knowledge wise, also, what knowledge we get in the material world, in day to day life, we go to the school, we get to the college, we go to the university, we learn from our parents. Most of the knowledge is about living, you know, how to make money, how to make house, how to make wife, how to make children, how to resolve our day to day problems of the life. But they were talking that we have two identities. One identity is our material identity, and another identity is the spiritual identity. So when we die, what happens after that? Right? So we are actually spirit souls, we are Atma, and when we die, this body is finished. And then this body transmigrates from one body to another body after the death, as per our karmas, as per our desires. However, there is a way to get out of the repeated cycle of birth, disease, old age, death. Birth, disease, old age, death. So this time I am having this body. Next life I might have some different body. And I'm born as an Indian. I might be born as a Canadian. I might be born as American, African, or I might get birth as a animal or insect. And we keep on transmigrating through 8,400,000 types of species. Choraishi Laksha Yoni. We all are continuously moving. We are given different bodies every time as per our karmas and desires, but we continuously keep on changing the bodies. Now, everybody there is a problem, whether you are born as rich or poor, whether you are born as a human or animal or an insect, there are always disease, old age, and death. None of them are happy phenomenon. Is that right? Is disease happy thing? No. Old age, suffering. Death, very painful. Again, get another birth and go through that same thing. So they're saying that there is a way out of this cycle. We can help our souls through this body in this life to get out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. And instead of getting this material body, how about if you get a spiritual body which has no old age, no disease, ever young body? How we all will like that, right? And they were talking about this art of getting the spiritual body, not material body. So no point of changing it. And they were also telling that every time we learn something in this life, and as soon as we are dead, what happens? We forget whatever we have learned, and we have to learn something new again in the next life. About how about something you learn in this life and it will last forever? Isn't that wonderful? You don't have to forget anything then. So that is the knowledge they were talking about. And when Narad Muni was very carefully listening this, he was very happy, and he learned all that science from them. This most confidential knowledge. And then he was telling to Vedvyas that, hey Vedvyas ji, that confidential knowledge which relieves one from this repeated cycle of, what is that cycle? Birth, disease, old age, and death. How to get this spiritual body, you haven't revealed it. And that is why everybody is suffering. So then he says, Narad Muni says to Vedvyas ji, here is the picture of Narad Muni. Narad Muni is the one who is a musician, actually, very nice musician. And there is a veena there. And this veena was gifted to Narad Muni by whom? No answer. Somebody gifted veena to Narad Muni. Okay, question for your homework. It was gifted by Lord Krishna himself. So Narad Muni then instructed Vyasdev the best remedial measure for removing all the troubles and miseries for the life. You have any misery? No? He just got married, so.
It's beginning.
He says, Etat suchitam brahmams tapatraya chikitsitam yada ishvare bhagavati karma brahmani bhavitam. So he says that tapatraya chikitsam. Tapatraya means three types of miseries. Tapa means misery, traya means three, and chikitsam means remedy, medicine. Chikitsalay in Hindi or in Sanskrit, a hospital is called chikitsalay. So medicine. So what is the medicine to get out of miseries? So he says, Yada Ishware Bhagavati. What is that said? Yada Ishware Bhagavati Karma Brahmani Bhavitam. To dedicate one's activities, karma, to the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, this is what is explained in Bhagavad Gita also. And here Narad Muni is explaining to Vedvyas ji that you please explain people how karma binds you. Karma bandhan. Whatever karma we do, it creates reaction. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. Who said that? Einstein said that. Oh my God. I didn't knew that.
Just wanted everybody to be awake.
So Lord Krishna said that whatever you do, it will come back to you.
Karma.
It is called karma. Karma siddhanta. Gahana karmano gati. So he said, if you do bad karma, bad will come back to you. If you do good, good will come back to you. But even you do all the good, no bad, if you decide that you're not going to do any bad karmas, and you do only good karma, then all good will come back to you. But still, to get that good, you have to take another birth. So your account balance is not zero. You have to take birth again. And when you take birth again, there is a cycle of disease, old age, and death. None of them is helpful. So then Narad Muni said to Vedvyas ji that you please tell them that if all the man's activities, all the activities in this life, if dedicated to service of Lord, service of Krishna, whatever we do, so if we eat, we all are eating, right? Everybody. Somebody who doesn't eat. But then while eating also, we are creating karma. Even you might be vegetarian, you're cooking vegetarian food, but then while cooking, boiling vegetables also, we are killing some germs, bacteria. Is that right or wrong? Huh? So then that is a karma actually. And then you get the result of it. So whatever we do, we offer it to Krishna. To Krishna means God Almighty. And we say that, hey Krishna, we are using these fruits, vegetables for our survival, but please accept this as a bhoga, make it a prasad, and please bless us so that we can be happy and healthy with this prasad. So whatever karma we do, suppose you are a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a pharmacist, you're a student, we are all continuously creating karmas. And every karma has a cycle. So all the karmas have reaction. So only way to get out of the cycle of karma is to have zero account balance. Then only we will get freedom. So when all the activities which cause us perpetual bondage, we dedicate it to Krishna, then it gets us out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. And that is called as Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga. So Narad Muni says, Yad atra kriyate karma. Whatever work done, yad atra in this life, bhagavata paritoshanam. Perform it for the satisfaction of Krishna. So we do this work for satisfaction of Krishna. What is that called as? What is the work which is we do for satisfaction of Krishna is called as? Is called as bhakti. Very nice. There are two words, bhakti and bhukti. Bhukti means whatever the work you do for yourself, it is called bhukti. Bhukti means bhoga. And when you do it for others or for service of Krishna, it is called as bhakti. So suppose you play music for yourself, it is called bhukti, and play music for pleasure of Krishna, it is called bhakti. You sing for yourself, it is called as bhukti. But you sing for pleasure of Krishna, it is called bhakti. You cook for yourself, it is called bhukti, and you cook for Krishna, it is called bhakti. You work for yourself, it is called bhukti. You work for Krishna, it is called bhakti. So what is the difference here? Everything is the same. So what is the difference? It is the consciousness, the way you think. It is the mind which purifies your existence, nothing else. So here with the mind, we are thinking that everything belongs to Krishna. Suppose you go to the bank, right? Everybody has a bank account. You have a bank account. You go to the bank and teller gives you money. You put your card there and he will give you money, right? So what does the teller say? Thank you for banking with us. He doesn't say, this is my money, I'm giving it to you. Does he say that? Because it is not his money. Whose money it is? It is your money, which he is giving it back to you, right? A postman who comes and delivers a letter to your home, and that letter might have a check of say $1 million. Somebody send you a check. Maybe one of your uncle who is going to retire, and he writes a check to you and says, "Here is the check for you, $1 million. My dear cousin, you are very nice, and dear nephew, you are very nice. I'm giving you $1 million check." And the postman brings a check to you. So what does the postman say? This is the check I'm giving you from my account. Is that what he says? What he says? I'm just delivering it to you. It is not mine. It is somebody else. Similarly, everything around us belongs to whom? Sun. Can you manufacture a sun in a factory? Can you make a sun in the factory? No. Can you make water in the factory? No. Can you make air in the factory? No. Can you make a rice in the factory? No. Can you make grains in the factory? Can you make an apple in the factory? Banana in the factory? So who makes all this? It's Krishna who is making, right? So when we take it from him and say, "This is mine," no, everything belongs to him, and what we are saying, "This is my banana, my apple, my house, my everything, my." But it doesn't belong to you. If a postman or a banker says, "This is my money," then they will be punished actually, right? Similarly, our karmas we are generating in such a way that we are claiming everything to be mine, and that is the wrong thing, right? Everything belongs to whom? Krishna. Everything belongs to him. He's the one who is giving us, and we are claiming everything to be mine. So that is the consciousness. So when we eat, what we say? Hey Krishna, you have given us. We are thankful to you. You please accept it and give it to us. We make money, we go to work, and then these hands, legs, eyes, everything, who gave you? Can you make an eye in the factory? If I give you $1 million, can you give me your two eyes? You can't, because that is very precious. And who gave you this? Krishna gave you. So when you work, you remember that Krishna is giving me the energy to work, and I'm able to work because of his blessing. Intelligence, Krishna has given us. Mind, Krishna has given. All this facility, Krishna has given us. So with that attitude of gratitude, will make our life successful. Otherwise, we are called as thieves. Thieves means who steals from you without asking you. Is that right? Everything belongs to Krishna. We take from him without asking him. That is called as a theft. And when you do a theft, you are punished. And who punishes you? Durga punishes you. That is Navratri. You say, "Durga, please take us out of this. Please relieve all the miseries." But Krishna has appointed Durga to punish all the thieves. And all these thieves have done theft, so please punish them. And that is why he come as Chandika also, Kali also. So Vedvyas is telling that you please tell about the science of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the one which can take you out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. So after that, Narad Muni started listening all this very carefully as a young boy. And then one day what happened is that all those sages left. All those sages left because they had to go further. And while Narad Muni's mother was working in his previous life, Narad Muni was a young boy, maid servant son in the previous life, and her mother was working in the forest, in jungle. A snake bit her and she died. So Narad Muni was a young boy without anybody to look after him. So Narad Muni was not sure, but Narad Muni had heard Srimad Bhagavatam from those sages. Now, ordinary person, if he loses somebody very close, a boy, 5-year-old boy, If he loses his mother, he will be devastated. Because there is nobody to look after now. He's an orphan. Nobody's there to look after him. But when Narad Muni realized that there is nobody to look after him, but he had heard this science of Srimad Bhagavatam, the most confidential knowledge, he had a positive attitude for the life. He didn't break down. So Narad Muni said to himself, Anugraham manyamana pratishtham disham uttaram. He said that there might be a special mercy of Lord. He said there might be something which God have thought about me, and there is something good in this also for me. So he took that as a mercy. That is a very difficult thing. But that is only possible if we consider whatever happens in our life as a gift from the God. When we are completely conscious of Krishna, whatever good happens, we thank Him. Bad happens, we say, please, you are the one who are looking after it. We are dependent on you. Right? So Narad Muni took that as a mercy and he headed towards the north. So he left the house and he left towards the north and he traveled to jungle. Many cities, villages came. He went deep, deep into the forest where there was nobody there. And then he got tired. He got tired so much, little boy, how far he can travel. So in the forest, he drank water and sat underneath a tree. And what did he do underneath a tree? Because he had learned this art of meditation from the sages. So he started doing japa. He started meditating upon Krishna, Vasudeva. And as Narad Muni started meditating upon Lord, what happened? Hridayasin me shaner hari. In his heart, Hridaya. There is a word called Hridaya. Hridaya means heart. Our heart is the place where Atma lies. Atma means soul, spirit. Hmm? And there is a Paramatma also within all of us. But we cannot realize Paramatma because we have lost the relationship. He's there with us, but we just can't see him because we have lost the connection. If there is no internet connection, we cannot get connected to the world, right? We need an internet. We need a medium to get connected. So there is a Paramatma, God within all of us, but we don't have a medium to connect it, right? What is the medium by which you talk to your parents? Telephone call. There is a frequency. Is that right? So I am talking here, but if there is a frequency and there is an equipment or a machine or mechanism, then my sound can reach to moon also. Is that right? Yes. My sound can reach out of the orbit also, or it can reach anywhere. Sound is such an energy that it can travel anywhere very immediately. You call somebody in India, the sound travels within same fraction of second to India. Is that right? Sound is very powerful. If you have a satellite phone, you can talk somebody in space within the same second of fraction. Is that right? So Narad Muni had learned this science of sound vibration. The sound is a very powerful energy God has gifted all of us. We have just forgotten the power of sound and power of ears. These are two great energies. We have lost the connection with it. But this little boy learned the art of hearing and the power of sound vibration, mantras from those sages, which is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So as soon as he started reciting the mantra, he was so pure from his heart. How did he become a pure from the heart? By hearing, by learning from the sages about Srimad Bhagavatam, about Krishna's pastimes. So he became so pure that there is a word here called Saner, and there is another word called as Hari. Hari means Krishna, God. Saner means immediately. What happened? As soon as he closed eyes and he started meditating, he got immediate connection actually. 5G. Because he was already into that frame of mind. For us to meditate is very difficult because we are not in that mind frame, you know. So as soon as this little boy in his previous life got connected, he could see God within his heart immediately. And Krishna appeared and Krishna blessed him. And looking upon the form of Krishna, he looked at him for the first time with the wonderful form of Krishna, you know. So here it proves that God has a form. You know, some people say God has no form. God is just like a light. But this little boy realized the form of God because he knew that how God looks like through study, through hearing from those sages. So as soon as he started meditating Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai, he got immediate perception that Lord Vishnu was standing in front of him with, how is he looking there? Pitambar. Pitambar means yellow dress, yellow dhoti. Then there is a beautiful garland. He has Chaturbhuja Rupa. There is a mugat on this top. On the top, there is a crown and is having flower, shankha, chakra, gada, uh, pushpa. So all this and nice anklets, nice bracelets. He was shining like a wonderful, bright, opulent personality standing in front of him. And he remembered that this is what those sages were talking about. This is the same person, Vasudev, Krishna, Vishnu, about which we learned. And this little boy was really happy and he opened his eyes. And as soon as he opened his eyes, the form disappeared. Then he tried to connect again, but somehow or other he lost the connection. So he's thinking, where did that wonderful form of Lord disappear? As soon as the Lord's form disappeared, at that time, Lord started speaking. Krishna started speaking to whom?
Narada.
Narada in his previous life. He said to a little boy, I regret that during this lifetime you will not be able to see me again. But he said, Lord said to Narada, little boy, the form which I showed you, the beautiful form, so that you hanker and you have a desire to get this form again and again and again. You have a desire to see this form again and again. To increase your desire, I showed you the form. Actually, to see me, it takes tapasya of hundreds and thousands of years. You know, yogis do tapasya for long time to see Lord in personal form. It is not that easy to see him. But he said that the more you hanker for me, more you will be freed from all the material problems. So that is why I showed this form to you, so that you hanker for me and you have a desire for seeing me. We all have desires, right? You have a desire? You have a desire? Everybody has a desire? When can we be desireless? Only when we die. Otherwise, the desires are constant. But we have a desires of material achievement. But Narad Muni got the form, got to see the form of Lord Krishna, so he had a desire to see Krishna. So just by seeing Lord Krishna for one time, Narad Muni wanted to see his form for again and again and again, every time. So as he was hankering for it, his heart got purified. So more we hanker for material things, our heart will be materialistic. And more we hanker for spiritual, our heart will be spiritual. You understand the word hanker? Hanker means you open the eyes, you see it, and you close the eyes, you see it. Right? We all are hankering after something or other. But Narada Muni is in his previous life was hankering after seeing Krishna all the time. So he was constantly meditating. And when he gave up his life, in the next life, he got opportunity to get birth as Narad because all his life he was meditating upon Krishna. And when he gave up his life, he was meditating upon Krishna. And they say that you get what you see at the time of death. Anta kale cha mameva smaram yakta kalevaram. So whatever you desire at the time of death, you get in your next life. So Narad Muni gave up his life remembering Krishna. So when he gave up his life remembering Krishna, he achieved the form which is a spiritual form. So Narad Muni's form is a spiritual form, which means Narad Muni is eternal actually. Narad Muni will never die. Huh? And he is constantly traveling all over the universe. What does he do? He just chants the holy name and makes devotees, bhaktas. There is no other work for Narad Muni. Chant everywhere, spread the glories of Krishna, and make devotees. So wherever he goes, he makes devotees. He met Dhruva, he made him devotee. He made Prahlad, devotee. Huh? So Narad Muni met even Valmiki. Hmm. He met him and he was converted into a great devotee by whom? Narad Muni. Valmiki was a Lutara. Ah, Ratnakar. He was uh, he was doing all the wrong things which you should not be doing in your life. But he got an opportunity to meet Narad Muni. So that is the power of hearing and power of association. So Narad Muni in his previous life got association of saints, devotees. He heard Srimad Bhagavatam and he got opportunity to become a wonderful devotee of Lord. So Narad Muni says further, Devadattam imam veenam swara brahma vibhushitam. He says, and thus getting this birth in this life, I constantly travel, singing the transcendental message of this instrument called as Veena. So Narad Muni is constantly traveling. And what does he do? We also travel, right? Where do we travel? We go to Europe, Russia, America, all India. We go to different places, right? Narad Muni also travel, but the purpose of Narad Muni is traveling is to give Krishna to others. And purpose of our travel is bhoga. We want to enjoy, right? So this is the difference between Narad Muni's travel and our travel. So Narad Muni is constantly singing and glorifying glories of Lord Krishna. So here is Narad Muni and Narad Muni's instructions on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And Narad Muni is asking Vedvyas ji that, hey Vedvyas ji, please glorify pastimes of Krishna, because that is the one which gave me from a little boy, maid servant's son, to get a birth as Narad Muni, to get this eternal life where I am not suffering anymore. I'm always happy. Narad Muni is always happy. Have you seen him unhappy? No, he's always happy, chanting the glories of. So he's saying that it is personally experienced by me that those who are always full of anxieties can cross the ocean of nations on this most suitable boat, which is the constant chanting of transcendental activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the boat here, what is the boat? Boat helps us to cross, right? So what is that boat? Chanting the glories of Krishna and his pastimes, and that is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Further, he says to Vedvyasji, he says that Ashtanga yoga system is not sufficient to give satisfaction to soul. There are different types of yoga system. What are the yoga systems? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. But Narad Muni says that that method will not work in Kali Yuga. No matter. Kali Yuga, only yagna which is recommended in Kali Yuga is Sankirtan yagna. Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Naste, Evam Gatir, Anyatha. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name. These are the only things. So he says Ashtanga yoga system, which is recommended in Kali Yuga, which is not recommended in Kali Yuga because it is not going to give you satisfaction. Satisfaction will be derived from, what is Narad Muni saying? Devotional service to Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Narad Muni concludes this sixth chapter by saying that Yama adhibir yoga pathe kamalobha hato muhu mukunda sevaya yadvat tathatmadhanasham yati. What is he saying? The word here is used is Mukunda Sevaya Yadavat. He says that by doing all the yoga process, all the different sacrifices, different yagnas, havan, nothing is going to happen. What will happen? Nothing for the Kali Yuga. Because to all the different, like say in the Satya Yuga, what was the method of liberation? People used to go to jungle and do tapasya, thousands of years, because they used to live very long. Then in Treta Yuga, Yagna ceremony, fire sacrifices they used to do. Opulent fire sacrifices means Ashwamegha Yagna, Putra Kameshti Yagna. Lord Ramachandra ji was born by Putra Kameshti Yagna. Dashrath Maharaj did Putra Kameshti Yagna. What this Yagna involve? You have to have a very opulent facility, lot of ghee, lot of brahmanas who knows the all the mantras, pure pronunciation. Then give dan dakshina, sacrifice. Give lot of dan dakshina. When you do yagna and you don't dan dakshina, nothing happens. Fail. So you invite brahmanas, give dan dakshina, give donations. Huh? Do we have that much money? We don't have much money. We are not even able to donate little bit because our necessities are big. Right? We need all the different facilities. Then in Dwapar Yuga, what was the facility recommended? Opulent temple worships. But in Kali Yuga, we don't have much long lifespan. We don't have money to do yagna. We can't build big opulent temples. And even if there is a temple, we don't have time to go there, right? Is that right or wrong?
Right.
Most of you have time, so you come every time. But there are a lot of people who have no time. They come every Diwali. Lakshmi Mata, give us some money. Today is the Durga Mata's day. A lot of people are visiting today temple because hey Durga Mata, please. A lot of people come on Shivratri actually. The highest rush is on Shivratri day, and then another rush is on Ganesh Chaturthi day. Ganesh Chaturthi, next one, because they want all these material things. Sukha sampatti ghara aave. What is the next line? Kastamite tanaka. Om Jaya Jagadisha. Hare. They don't have any love with Krishna, Shiva, Ganesh, Durga. If you have a love, what will happen? You come every day. But you have a business, when you go Walmart, Prabhu? When you need something, otherwise you don't go every day. Is that right, Prabhuji? When you go to Shoppers Drug Mart, when you need medicine, you don't have a love with Shoppers Drug Mart. But when you have a love, you love your family, so you go home every day. Is that right? You go home every day? Yes or no?
Yeah.
He's saying no. So similarly, if you love Krishna, you come to his home every
Every day.
every day. We don't love him. We have a businessman. We do for shopping every week, right? Every Sunday we go for shopping. So every Sunday we go to temple. That's good thing. But some people have shopping every year, Diwali shopping. Let's go to Lakshmi Mata. Uh, then now Durga Mata shopping. So let's go this Navratri. So let's worship Durga. So this is called as Karma Kanda. Bhagavatam is not talking about Karma Kanda. Bhagavatam is talking about Bhakti. There's a difference between Karma Kanda and Bhakti. What is difference? Karma Kanda is a business and Bhakti is Prema. That's the difference, nothing else, right? So if you worship somebody out of material desires, that is called business. That is called Karma Kanda. But if you worship someone out of love, out of affection, this is called Bhakti. So art of Bhakti is Srimad Bhagavatam, and art of Bhukti, material desires, business is there in all the Vedas and Puranas. They are filled with it, right? So with that, we'll pause here. Anybody has any questions? So the Sutta Goswami concludes that addressing Vyasadev, Srila Narad Muni took the leave of him, vibrating on his veena instrument. He left wonder at his free will. So this is how Narad Muni left. And left whom? Vedvyasji. You now think over. I have told you my experience, what happens with bhakti, what happens with love, how I got into this position of being Narada, and what you have done as of now is all Vedas, all about material things. So you please describe about pure bhakti. And Srimad Bhagavatam is all about pure bhakti. Pure bhakti means
Krishna.
prema. Prema means Krishna. Hmm? The prema word is only used for Krishna. Krishna prema. Have you heard the word Durga prema? Because people don't have prema. Huh? Shiva prema, Ganesh prema, but Krishna prema you have heard about a lot of times. Huh? So all this, how to art of loving Krishna, art of engaging with Krishna in mood of bhakti is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody has any question? कोई प्रश्न किसी का? आइए तो हम प्रसादम लेते हैं. नहीं, आरती करेंगे. हाँ, एक दो तीन प्रश्न भी करेंगे. आज दुर्गा माता का दिन है तो थोड़ा एक 5 मिनट लेंगे. हम थोड़ा प्रश्न करेंगे. हमारे सब भक्तजन आए हैं तो 5 मिनट रुकिएगा प्रभु जी. तो नवरात्रि है अभी, है ना? कभी से नवरात्रि चालू हुआ? नवरात्रि कितने कब से चालू हुआ? So the question is, how often a Navratri festival comes in India? मैंने अभी चॉइस नहीं दिया है. आप A 1 time, 2 2 times, C 3 times, or D 4 times. Okay, one by one. Our online friends can also answer. our Parulji online is saying 2 times. Okay, here 4 times, 2 times, 2 times, 2 times, 4 times. Panditji is saying 4 times. Prabhuji? Huh? So real answer is the 4 times. Okay, D is the 4 times. That is Sharad Navratri, Vasant Navratri, Magh Navratri, and Ashad Navratri. There are 4 Navratris. So which is this Navratri which we are celebrating now? Sharad Navratri. This is Sharad Navratri. Huh? Two Navratris are very famous, Sharad and Chaitra. Chaitra Navratri is also called as Vasanta Navratri, which is very common. Okay, Chaitra Navratri is also called as, I already answered it, Vasanta Navratri. Which form of goddess Durga is worshipped on the first day of Chaitra Navratri? हाँ, 9 दिन नवरात्रि के रहते हैं तो दुर्गा के 9 रूप की पूजा होती है, मालूम है आपको? क्या नहीं मालूम है? मालूम है? तो पहले दिन किसकी पूजा होती है? आज कौन सा दिन है? ऑप्शन दे दूं? ब्रह्मचारिणी, शैलपुत्री, चंद्रघंटा, कात्यायनी. हमारे ऑनलाइन मित्रों को भी चांस देते हैं. सब लोग गूगल करके आंसर दे रहे हैं, ऑनलाइन सही आंसर आ रहे हैं गूगल करके. आप लोग भी गूगल कर सकते हैं. एब्सोल्युटली राइट. Shailaputri is the correct answer. So these are the 9 forms of Durga: Shailaputri, Brahmacharini, Chandraghanta, Kushmanda, Skandamata, Katyayani, Kalratri, Mahagauri, and Siddhiratri. So first day of Navratri we worship Shailaputri. Shailaputri is, who is Shailaputri? Shailaputri is Parvati herself. She is the daughter of Himalaya. Oh. So when Sati burnt herself after Lord Shiva was humiliated by Daksha Prajapati, Sati Mata became angry and she burnt herself. And then she appeared in the next life as Parvati. The next one is second day of Navratri. Whom do we worship? Oh, very good. Brahmacharini. Who is Brahmacharini? Who? All forms are of Parvati. Parvati is also called Durga. And Brahmacharini is the one who wears the white clothes. Right? She has a lotus in her hand and she is doing tapasya. So when Sati burnt herself and she appeared as a Parvati, then Narad Muni went there and reminded her, oh, you are eligible to get married to Shivji. But what you need to do is do little tapasya. So she did tapasya, austerity. So that is why she did tapasya and she got Shivji as husband. On third day, Chandraghanta, right? Who is Chandraghanta? Who is Chandraghanta?
One more form of goddess Durga.
Parvati herself. So when Parvati got married to Shivji, when Shivji ki barat aa rahi thi, so Shivji in his barat, who were in barat? Bhoot, Pret, Pishach, all people with the bhasma, all the skeletons moving around, and Shivji riding on a bull with the bhasma on his body. So when mother of Parvati ji saw this, she fainted. She said, "My God, this is my son-in-law, ऐसा जवाई मर जाएंगे हम तो। ऐसे जवाई को क्या करे जो भूत पिशाच के साथ रहे।" हाँ, तो सब गिर गया चक्कर आके वहां पे, बेशुद्ध हो गए सब लोग। तो फिर to satisfy everybody, Parvati took the form of Chandraghanta. And then she took this form, riding on a tiger with 8 hands, as ferocious form, fearful form. And that is the form which is Chandraghanta. Then the fourth day of Navratri, Kushmanda, which is also form of Parvati or Durga. Kushmanda is the word where Ushma means energy, Anda means egg, uh, and Ku means little. So little egg filled with energy, Kushmanda. So this material world is filled with the energy of Durga. This is called material energy. So whatever the energy around us is the material energy. And where is that material energy coming from? Durga. So that is why she is called Kushmanda, and she has this form riding on a tiger. Then the fifth day of Navratri, Skanda Mata. Why she is called Skanda Mata?
कार्तिक
Ah, very nice, very nice, very nice. बोलिए बोलिए बोलिए. Fifth day of Navratri, Parvati ji is worshipped as Skanda Mata. Why Skanda? Skanda is also name of Kartikeya. Kartikeya is the son of Parvati. Ah, Parvati has two children. One is
गणेश
Ganesh and
कार्तिक
Kartik. Kartikeya is the elder one.
she has three children daughter also
Daughter also.
Ashok Sundari
Yes, Ashok Sundari. Two boys, two boys. Yes, two boys and a girl. And then sixth day, she is worshipped as Katyayani. Hmm? She is the one who killed Mahishasur. So she is also called as Mahishasur Mardini. And the seventh day we worship Kalaratri. Hmm? Kalaratri is also called as Kali, Kalika, Chamunda, because she also killed a demon, Chanda and Munda. They were killed by her, so they are called. There's a very nice story. We don't have time, so we'll repeat sometimes later. And then eighth day, she is worshipped as Mahagauri. She is very Mahagauri is very white in color. Gauri means white. After Kali Roop, when she took a form of Kali, she was black in color and she killed Mahishasur. No, she didn't kill Mahishasur that time. Chanda Munda. Ah. So at that time she killed, and then she became black. So Shivji started teasing her. You're very black, very black, very black. So she said, now I'm going to become white. So with tapasya, she became white, which is Mahagauri, very, very white. And then ninth day of Navratri, Siddhidatri. Lord Shivji is called as Ardhanareshwar. That Ardha form of Shivji, it is said that he is getting energy from Parvati, which is Siddhidatri. And tenth day, Dashara. Lord Ramachandra ji killed Ravana. And Lord Ramachandra ji, it is said that Ramji and Lakshman ji also worshipped Durga before going to kill Ravana. So Ma Durga's description is there in Brahma Sahinta. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadha Shakti Eka Chayeva Chayeva Yashya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga. This is mentioned in Durga's description is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. Who is Durga? So Durga is the one who is guarding this whole world. This world is called as Durga, and one who is guarding it is called as दुर्गा. दुर्गा has कितने हाथ? 10 हाथ है. माँ दुर्गा के 10 हाथ है. Why 10? Because there are 10 directions and Ma Durga is looking after all the directions. How many directions? So four main directions, then four angles, eight, up and down. How many directions? 10. So if a Asur is going to trouble any direction, any 10 directions, she can work with him and she can destroy him from all the 10 directions. But then she is working under the direction of Yashya Bhuvanani Bivarti Durga. She is working under the direction of Chayeva. Chayeva means she is working under Chaya. Chaya means guidance. Whose guidance? Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So Durga is working under Lord Krishna or Vishnu's directions, and that is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyasetya Characharan. So Lord Krishna is saying this Prakriti, this Durga, this material nature is working under whose direction? Maya Adhyakshena. Maya means Krishna himself. And further Krishna says that Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Durataya. So if you want to overcome this Durga's energy, then you cannot overcome like that. You have to surrender to me. That is what Krishna has declared. With that, we will do Arati ceremony. Please stand up. And those who are online, please stay for the Arati. And we will give you the live darshan of the Arati. So please stay back. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Wish you all very happy Navratri.
नमः